When it comes to brain fuel, glucose is king. 1. Glucose is the brain's primary source of fuel and it is quite narrowly regulated inside our body as a result. This is referred to as glucose homeostasis. 2. There are two key players in this process, insulin and glucagon. 3. These two hormones are kept in balance so that our blood sugar remains stable. When we eat, the ratio of insulin to glucagon is high, which helps to facilitate many postprandial, after-meal, processes in the body. 4. The standard American diet is very high in glucose, meaning it's high in carbohydrates like bread, pasta, baked goods, and juices. 5. While glucose is the king of brain and body fuel, we do also have the ability to fuel our brains with ketone bodies, which is part of why low-carb diets are currently exploding in popularity. 6. Heck, even I got in on the action, and wrote a low-carb cookbook. Note that while the paleo diet is lower carbohydrate than the standard American diet, at www.thepaleodiet.com, Dr. Loren Cordain and the editorial board do not support extreme low-carbohydrate diets like the ketogenic diet, how the body manages glucose. The nuts and bolts of how our brain handles glucose is actually very fascinating. To easily explain a very complex situation, it is best to start by describing the various different metabolic states which bring about different activity in the body and brain. For example, when we lack carbohydrates, our liver glycogen stores are rapidly used and fatty acids are then shuttled, from stored fat, to provide energy via a process called oxidation. 7. These changes rapidly makes the body less reliant on glucose as it addresses the shortage. Fatty acid oxidation allows the limited supply of glucose to be conserved for the brain, likely a mechanism developed to prevent starvation in our ancestors, during times of food scarcity. 8. Think of this as a backup fuel system. Our body knows when one fuel is running low or not available, and switches to another energy supply. Taken to an extreme, when carbohydrates are low enough, for long enough, we go into ketosis. 9. The keto flu where we don't feel very good after removing carbohydrates from our diet, is directly related to this switch in fuel systems. On the flip side, if we have plenty of carbohydrates, our bodies will choose to store fat and rely on glucose for fuel since our ability to store carbohydrates is limited. This is also why marathon runners carb load. They want to maximize this limited store and make sure more glucose is available for their bodies to draw upon as they step outside of a normal human activity range.